Oliver is 6 years old. He came home to our house when he was 3 months old. He was diagnosed with neuroblastoma stage 4 cancer on August 31, 2010. His pediatrician sent us to DeVos Children's Hospital. So they did some testing and they very quickly told us, you know, there's a mass of some type and it doesn't look good and you're not going to leave the hospital right now. Within a matter of days, we were from having a normal 4-year-old to having a child that had a 50% chance of survival.
And
so,
I did survive.
You did survive. You've done a very good job, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
He went through major surgeries, one 7 or 8 hours, another one 5 to 6 hours, at least 6 rounds of regular chemotherapy, a very difficult bone marrow transplant, which went well, but it was just tough.
It was so many mouth sores I couldn't even talk without saliva coming out of my mouth.
He had mouth sores for a week during the bone marrow transplant. He couldn't talk, he couldn't swallow, and he's a very talkative boy. I went through the radiation, and
that was easy.
The radiation was easy for him. Things were looking good last November. He was officially in remission. We had a great Thanksgiving, wonderful Christmas, and then in January he relapsed. When you relapse with neuroblastoma, your odds of survival go down to about 10%. There had been some research going on. We went through some experimental treatment for several months, and around March was considered back in remission again. So he's been beating these odds, and he is currently now part of another clinical trial, and the goal there is to keep him in remission. The research had given him a better chance of surviving. It has given us months right now with our child, and we're hoping for years.
I might be really old. I might.
I'm counting on it. Without the research, I don't know if he'd be standing here right now, jumping in the way of the camera. I don't know if there's a normal reaction to being told that your child has cancer, period. You know, as a father, you take care of your children. That's what you do. And I suddenly realized I can't take care of my child.
You can't do anything. You can't just take the cancer away. I would rather put that cancer, I would rather put it on the road.
On the road? The road would be a good place for the cancer to go.
Why?
Because then it'll just get run over and nobody would have to worry about it anymore. This is as normal as he's been, but we don't relax. And I don't know if we'll ever relax again. It's day by day, and we'll take that. We're happy with day by day. He's doing good. So people say, well, how do you stay so positive through all this? I'm like, well, we kind of follow Oliver's lead, and he's positive. You realize how much you learn from your children. You know, I've learned a lot from all my kids, but Oliver's taught me, and I think a lot of us, how to approach a challenge.
In the end, the cancer never wins.
My stepfather was a great virile man's man who raised me from 7th grade on, the more formative years, I guess, for me. He taught me how to really kind of live by my wits. And then he passed away in 2002, lymphoma. The family was able to be around the hospital bed when he took his last breath, which was a beautiful experience, worthy of writing a song about it. And the song really is for anybody who has to spend the last few days of their life in a hospital bed. My wife and I were sitting around, and I started playing this little riff, and that was very sad to me. And the song really wasn't anything. I had no idea I wanted to write about my stepfather or cancer or anything. I think I just started thinking about family, and the phrase, "I was pretty popular today," came out, which I didn't even know what it meant at that point. And then I figured out that that's what that was. Somebody sitting in a hospital bed with a lot of people that came to visit him, and the one thing that made him really happy was the fact that he was very popular. And from there, the song, the song took shape. This is one of the times I felt completion and closure with a song where I probably wouldn't change anything about it. It was a turning point. It was definitely a turning point for me, and in a positive way. And his spirit could very well have had a lot to do with that. I would like to think so.